Hi all. Right, back this morning, enemy action Kharkov, Soviet solo, and take two, part 16. Okay, I missed a day out yesterday. I was working, was hoping to get on last night. Things went a bit wrong at work. Trains were, a tree had came down over the line and trains were delayed and cancelled, and so I never got back till I think it was about 2.5 hours late or something. And I was one of the lucky ones. That's a lot later, much later than that. However, that's the railway for you. Yeah, so I was really kind of annoyed. I went to work today and I travelled in on the train, and I was able to watch some video footage when I was going on. So I was watching back on some of the stuff, and I've removed the sort of warnings about me not reviewing it as I've reviewed them in case I wanted to add anything. But not been many comments, which always says no news is good news. But part 15, the previous one, I've still not watched it back, and I thought I hadn't uploaded it, but I have. I just noticed when I came back, and I was really annoyed with myself because I could have watched it on the train back home tonight, but I didn't realise it was there. So I was just having a quick glance about what happened. To be honest, I'm not sure. See when you miss a whole day. I know I've only got one card left, and it's the southwest front. But it looks like we can't activate pop-off though, so we must have went down that road. Yeah, that's right, okay. So I guess the probable action for our last impulse here is more than likely going to be trying to take this Rouse unit out with the 6th Army. I see we've got a couple of dispersals here, so things obviously didn't went great. I recall watching back on the stuff, Kharkov with a big dud there. I was looking back though and I'm thinking, I'm sure, I talked about it beforehand that, playing, chuck some combat tactics into this, maybe we should have used this. We had the intelligence as well, why not use that on that? I mean, I used it on, I don't know, I want to say, we must have had 2 combats down here, didn't we? And I think I used it on one of the combats here, did I? You know what, I can't remember. Anyway, we've done nothing to Kharkov, and we probably should have done that, but anyway. Okay, a couple of things to bring up. Like I say, not an awful lot of comments. Martin's, I think he's probably up to date with things as well, but he commented on part 14 saying it was a nice save, as in like putting things back as they should be after the error. I know it was a whole part dedicated to like making a fix, but yeah, going to do just what I'm doing now though. Once the video is uploaded, I'm not going to let it sit there. I'm just going to chuck it out there, put that wee warning in, and then take the warning out that I've now, that shows that I have reviewed it now, and if I wanted to add anything, then, and that should hopefully catch things a bit better and be easier to fix. And yeah, what was his other comment? Yeah, it was about the engineers event, and he said we did get that right. Well, yeah, I did get it right, but it was, my understanding of it was right, because I wasn't unsure, and I thought, what am I looking for here? Events, German events, engineers. Yeah, so it says in 3 hexes, 1 hex at a time. Now, yeah, I remember I was saying about the 1 hex at a time bit, and I wasn't sure why it was that. I guess let's just say you had 5 possible IP targets. No, I don't know if that does make it make more sense or not. I'm just thinking you would select the 3 that were preference, that the 3 that were going to be the higher preference. Yeah, because I can't, 1 hex at a time. I'm wondering, like, you put one on one, it doesn't affect anything else, so I'm not quite sure I grasp why that does say 1 hex at a time, but if it just said three hexes with the highest priority, but I don't know. Does that really matter? No, it doesn't. Anyway, the bit that I was baffled by was, well, I'll carry on reading it. In 3 hexes, 1 hex at a time. Hang on. I thought I was getting called upon there. I thought, well, we got in 5 minutes. 5 minutes there before we got shouted on. But actually, I don't think it was. Okay. In 3 hexes, 1 hex at a time, conduct the following. Place an IP on an eligible supplied German unit to its supplied Soviet unit as proximate. And from turn 5 onwards, in a hex in Soviet support. And then there's a few preferences. Unit adjacent is the first one. Lowest unit selector. Well, actually, there's only 2. Unit adjacent to Soviet unit and then lowest unit selector. Right, and it was in the last part that kind of got me, scratched my head a little. It says if no German unit is eligible, then remove an IP from a Soviet unit of your choice adjacent to a supplied German unit. If no German unit is eligible. This event does not apply if fewer than 3 hexes qualify. Okay. I mean, Martin's told me that when I came to the conclusion that you look at adding 3 IPs, but also if you've not got any IPs to add, you could take off up to 3 IPs from Soviet units. So you are looking. I mean, I was right in my thinking of it that it means it's a combination of the 2 up to 3 different ones, you know. And that's why it says this event does not apply if fewer than 3 hexes qualify. So it's fewer than 3 hexes, but it doesn't need to be. It's a combination of the 2, basically. It could be 1 IP on a German unit and 2 IPs off a Soviet unit, but it's got to be 3, you know. So yeah, that makes sense. And I don't know if it was just me, the way I was reading that. I replied to him saying it's possibly just me, but the way it was that I read it kind of confused me a bit. But okay, I think that was about that. As usual, I feel like there's something else I wanted to say, but I think that's all. It was been quite quiet. I did ask him about this whole situation that I found about the movement method. No, starting to say that. I don't know. Action step 2. Where there's not a preference to jump in there and say you would target the highest VP hex if you had an option between the 2. My guess is that they've looked at that and thought about it, and then, I mean, my example was that, again, there's lots of stuff in the way here, but my example was that if the unit could move to Kharkov or Volchansk, the German unit with movement method 2, it would move to Volchansk based on it being a lower hex number. Which sounds kind of strange, but maybe not. I mean, it's further east, you know, maybe it's wanting to come down here and put a bit of pressure on round here, I don't know. You would think that they'd probably considered that one. Let's just say you're playing the game yourself then. And I know that, well, I'm not so much seeing it in this game, but in any match in Ardennes, there was quite a lot of suboptimal moves that you wouldn't have done yourself. But you'll notice that the AI does have some nice things built into it where it can sort of cheat a wee bit, bend the rules a wee bit and whatever. I'm not seeing so much in the suboptimal rule department here though, so that's the thing. But it could be that it's been left like that to sort of, but I mean, if you were dealing with it yourself, I dare say it would depend on what was round here and what was round here, I suppose. But, you know, if that didn't matter and you had the choice of going and protecting Kharkov, which is a 4 victory point city, or going and protecting Volchansk, which is a 1 victory point town, you know, it seems like you would go for the city, but anyway, I'll see if he comes back with any sort of insight into what he thinks about that rule, and I'll let you know. Okay, right, so we only have 1 card left, so we can probably get a cheeky impulse, a cheeky end of turn done here. I'm not sure I've quite got the time to finish it all, but I'm hoping to still get a wee bit later on tonight for another wee part. And then I'm off for the next couple of days work, so who knows, maybe. Depends what other chores are set out. Okay, so we're playing the Southwest Front, so it's I'm not going to deploy all Southwest Front units because I don't have any. We've only got the two. We've got the 240th Army units still in the reserves. So we're going to activate. Actually, let's look at the command events. It's just the card has the option of any command event. I should probably have a look, just to humour myself. Yeah, to be honest, there's not really much because we can't pick the special events. There's 3 of them with the Soviets, and then you've got 4 options on the command event side of things. You've got air supply, which places all units in 1 hex in full supply. We don't need that. Engineers in 3 non-town or non-city hexes place an IP or remove an IP. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not awful. Forward support has placed a forward support marker, but we don't need that yet until the game gets further on. And then the final one was Partisans Uprising, which sounded pretty good. It's not any good at the end of turn though, because it's placed disperse markers on all German units in 3 towns and city hexes. So, possibly if we had decided to play that before we attacked Kharkov, for instance, it might have benefited. But no, there's certainly nothing there that I feel would be better than activating one of these armies. I think it's got to be the 6th army, isn't it? I can't do Popov, right? So we went down that way that we couldn't do it. So yeah, I'm just going to activate the 6th army. There's no real point messing about too much with it, that's all. And can we get any movement actually? There's no real point trying to get it flanked because it's in a town and we can't surround it. So we possibly could get into this hex though. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can because it's. Oh no, we can't because he's breaking zone of control. So it's actually 1, 2, 3. It's actually 4 for these infantry to move from there to there because it's breaking zone of control. So well, it's maybe just a nice simple step of turning these guys that way and attacking, isn't it? It does feel a bit weak for the card that we're using, but I did try to go down the road where I was going to activate Popov again, but it didn't turn out that way, so it's either that or one of the events which don't seem to sound terribly interesting. The Guards Army, I mean, yes, I could activate them also, but it's probably better try to take this, I think. Right, so let's go with that. Let's just go hopefully taking this Rouse unit out. So attack. We've got 4, 7, and 14, 16. So yeah, so it's 8-1 because we reduced them the last time. It's 8-1. It is only 6 chip pools because we're getting artillery. We forgot about that time. So 8-1 odds, just outside the large attack, though just 6 ship pools, which might have been nicer, but we've nothing else to put in. So, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 for the artillery, 6. Right, okay, let's just go with that and let's just get a German combat tactic and see if they're going to apply anything. Oh, it's pull out again. Had a lot of them, a lot of pull outs and screens, haven't we? Oh dear. And the odds are there. So he's going to retreat 2 hexes and we can advance. I mean, okay, we get the town. but I was pretty confident I was going to take that guy out with 8-1 odds and 6 chip pools. In fact, I was hopeful that one chip pool wouldn't have done that grand. Well, it may have done. No, because we need D3, don't we? Because he's in the town. Okay, retreat. So yeah, just double check and pull out. We've looked at it before many a time, haven't we? Combat ratio. Well, stop, Grant, stop. Just as well, you're looking at it again. Pull out defense only if the combat ratio is greater than or equal to 4-1 and in a non-VP hex. Stop, Grant, stop. That's a VP hex, Grant. Hang on. Try to save your ears there. Yeah, just wondering if I had wondered that one before. Don't think so. I know we've had 2 or 3 pull-outs, but so there you go. So he's not going to pull out because he's in a VP hex. Combat ratio is greater than or equal to 4-1 and in a non-VP hex. Retreat. Yeah, so that's not going to happen. Good, because I'm pretty sure. I mean, wait to see what happens here. We'll regret it. We'll like, oh, bring the pull out back. Yeah, it definitely says that's it. It just says if the combat ratio is greater than or equal to 4-1 and it's in a non-VP hex. So that is not the case. The odds are there, but he is in a VP hex. So combat's going ahead. Okay. Where am I going to put these chits? Right, hang on. Right, move things about a little bit. I like to leave the dice just to show you. So 8-1 odds, 6 chip pools maximum, 1 minimum, and I'm going to put the chits up here somewhere for you to see. So yeah, combat tactic was a dud. And we'll get the first one of the minimum. Well, that's not a great start. So it was City on the front side, Town on the back side. So that's us down a hit already. Yeah, we only have 6 chip pools, so we really need to see some high odds. That's what we're looking for. Right, I'm going all in. I'm going to take the other 5. So here we go. Look at the second chit I just drew. Greater than or equal to 9-1, an A-2 and a D3, and we've got 8-1. And I thought, well, okay, we'll probably benefit from the back with a D1. Less than 4-1. Grrr. I feel like things are just not going to work here. Right, so 4 to go, innit? Yeah. However, that was a good bounce back. A 5-1 with D2. I'll take that. Okay, finished pretty well, although this is not really ideally what was won, but at least it's got the important D1 part to it. So that might be good. I think we're getting them retreating, aren't we? So that was 6 chip pools, 8-1 odds. Yeah, it was a nice finishing one. I needed a D1 to finish. So looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got D3 and A1. Okay, so D3, 3 hits to the Germans, 1 to us. Right, he's in a town, so that reduces it to 2. So he will retreat. There we go. Hang on. Right, I'm gonna have to go. We can finish this though, and then I'll be back for the German impulse. So I took the hit for the town. 2 hits. He's going to retreat twice, isn't he? So he's going to survive and be dispersed. Okay, because he's got one step with 2 hits to take. So where can he retreat to? Not to here. He can retreat to here or here. It's just the Dnieper River, isn't it? Retreat allowed across unbridged Dnieper River and Donets River in light mud, so I need to remember that one, but this is the Donets River. only if no other hex available, but that it's not the White Mud and it's not the Dnieper River, so he's not got a problem in retreating across there. But he's got a choice between the two hexes. German VP hex, no hex not in dangerous surround, and then woods. So if he's not in dangerous surround in either of these, then he would go here. He's going to retreat a second hex anyway. However, I guess as he probably is in dangerous surround there. No, actually maybe not. Well, I don't think he will be actually, because we can't. This garrison's here, so we can't get in there. So don't think that's in dangerous surround, and that's probably the same situation then. So my guess is he takes the third preference, which is woods terrain. So that's his first retreat. His second retreat can be in either of these three hexes. German VP hex, no. Hex not in danger of surround. I'm going to go with them all not being in danger of surround again. Pretty sure that's the case. There's nothing we can really get up the back of these. Yeah, remember dangerous surround's been catching out though, Grant, so just don't be hasty. I'm not seeing it. These guys here, it's not a way around these two here. Look at this, it's all protected round the back, and yeah, nah. So either three are not in dangerous round. So again, he wants to hit the woods. So he's going to retreat to there for his second retreat hex, and he will become dispersed. However, this is going to, no, it's just one, there's only one German impulse to go, so that's not really going to bother him too much. Okay, so we've got one hit to take. Well, I've got to take the hit, so there's not any armoured or large units here though, so we can probably just take it on this once. Well, the 2 strength guy, knock it down to 1. Which isn't too drastic. Actually, there's no point knowing about a second retreat because we've only got infantry. However, right, that's the hit's been. Yeah, sorry, he took 1 hit retreat, 1 hit retreat. That satisfied these 2 hits and became dispersed. I've taken the 1 hit on my infantry. Just chuck that out of the way again. So we can advance infantry into here, which we will do, and take the town. And take another victory point, so we're up to 9. I think we got to 9 as well and dropped back, didn't we? Oh, this was the one we lost. Yeah, we had this and then lost it. Foolishly. I don't think it really matters, does it? I'll just move the big stack in then. So I'll move the full stack of that infantry into the hex. And yeah, that's it. So that's impulse done. Not an awful lot to it. We didn't take the guy out, which I felt like we should have done. However, we moved him back. He's still only 1 step and he's dispersed further back, but you never know, he might start repairing and might come back to haunt us. That doesn't go in there, Grant. That goes across here. Okay, so that's our impulse done. So we've got 1 more. We're out of cards now, but the Germans do get 1 more impulse, and that's 6 army we've activated. So put that up there. Not that it really matters. And then, right, gonna have to go and get something to eat, and I'll be back with a final German impulse. I'm just going to stitch on at the end of this, although we're only 25 minutes in, so we'll get the final German impulse and then wrap up the end of turn stuff, and yeah, and then fingers crossed I might be able to get started on to turn 3 just before the end of the night. We'll see. We'll see with that one. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Cheers. Hi all. I did manage to actually just keep things on pause there, because I figured just tie this on to the end. Last German impulse of the turn. Hopefully finish the turn up. I was hopeful that I might be able to start the third turn. It's a bit later than I thought, but we shall see. Anything to talk about? Yeah. John Brown commented. He's catching up a bit now, John. Like I say, don't think he gets as much time as some of us. But that happens to all of us at times, I suppose. It was about my wondering about towns and cities, and if a town could be a broken town, a queer town. I'm pretty sure that did happen in Enemy Action Ardennes. And I think I got the old... did I not bring the old rule book out, and it was slightly different. But he is confirming that they are different. He also points me to there's some designer notes, and I should have realised this. They're in the 2-player rules, I believe. And yeah, I seen some comment about this elsewhere as well, and kind of silly me not to have looked into that and read it, because I think you should respect that sort of stuff and have a look, and it's quite interesting to see what Mr. Butterfield's thought about and where he's came to some decisions and whatever. And it's possible that a couple of my other queries might be actually in there. But John pointed out that being a source of information that might explain why you can't have a broken town and a broken city. I've not looked at it yet. I said I'm going to take it down. I'm going to take it when I go down to bed tonight and have a wee read at it. Yeah, so I should. Yeah, and his other comment was regarding the decisions that you've sometimes got to make. I can't remember the combat. Was it combat I had? It was the third tank, I think, and it was like pushing against the unit here. I think it was the 48 Panzer Corps, and we had a choice of eliminating the unit. Yeah, it was because we had the partisans combat tactic. That's really cool. I like that combat. I'm glad the combat tactics and some of the changes I've introduced and that really quite, a decision to make there. You can either have it this way or that way and whatever. Well, it couldn't have been here. Could it? Well, yeah. Was it not in the town here? Because it was the town ones are the optional. You can deal another hit or take it, or no, deal another hit or take a hit off yourself. That was it. That's it. Whereas a city you get both. And I think it was a combat then. He just commented about how the decision, a typical Mr. Butterfield design about the challenges involved in making that decision, and yeah, it's tough, and I think that's what makes you keep coming back. So yeah, like I responded, long may they continue, hopefully. Yeah, that's I was thinking about it today, how I'm loving this so much, and okay, how many years passed between the Enemy Action Ardennes and this hitting, well, not hitting my table. I got Enemy Action Ardennes after it came out. I wasn't quite, I've not been in the hobby for that long, to be honest. When did it come out? 2015? Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's been about 7 years, hasn't it? So 2015, 7 years ago. Yeah, I think that was probably around about the time I started this, and I didn't initially come into board games with initially war games. I just started moving into that a bit. Anyway, so yeah, let's just say there's been around about 7 years between the release of Enemy Action Ardennes and the release of this. So now, yes, when we've seen Enemy Action Ardennes and it said Volume 1 of the series, and when you played the game, you're like, right? I'm excited to find out what Volume 2 is, and here is Volume 2. And I heard that a disappointing, whether it's a rumour or a disappointing comment recently about the next one maybe being the last in the series, and I really hope that's not true. And I know I might have to wait 7 years on the next volume in the series, but yeah, I'll be signing up to that right away whenever it gets. And I heard, well, I don't know what's about. I want to say Market Garden maybe. I seem to remember somebody suggesting that, and I don't know, but I don't know if that's true or not. But it wouldn't matter to me what it was. If it's a similar kind of AI, yeah, it's all about the artificial intelligence and how brilliantly it's done. If there's a similar game to this, and I'd say to all these people out there, if they want to make war games, I mean, the thing is not everybody likes a complex war game, and the main complex, oh, don't know how to say that word. The main part of it, is in the AI, isn't it? It's like, it's not. When you go to make your moves, it's not as complex. It's when you're looking at the AI, and when a action step tells you that, or even the retreat rules now have, a preference to retreat back into hex that is not in dangerous around, and you're like, I mean, and that's been upped a bit from the previous, but I would say that the rules are probably, like, they're easier than what they were in Ardennes. That is one of them, isn't it? Yeah, in fact, it's the second preference, VP hex, and then not in dangerous around. And then you've got to look at all the possibly 3 or 4, no, it's probably going to be 3 hexes that you're looking at to see if dangerous around. You've got all these things to look at. And even placing a garrison, you've got lots of things to look at, and that's where the complexity, that's that, I think. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Comes into it, and it is mainly about the AI, but you see how it works. It's brilliant. It really is, and I wish more people would do this, and I would buy these games. And this is an expensive game, but I'll tell you what, no problem. No, you get 2 games. It's 2 games for me. I mean, it's 3 games for a lot of people, and maybe one day I'll be able to talk somebody into having a game of that, but. It's not that bit. I love trying to work it out. I love trying to work out the AI. So I think that's what is for me. It's 2 games for me, not really 3, but it's 2 games, but 2 brilliant. And the fact that it's not just right. Okay, I'll play as the Germans now, and it's just the same. It's not. It's a totally different game, and the AI is complete. It has to switch about. It's totally different. Yeah. Yeah, keep making them, please, John, please keep making them. But yeah, I mean, 7 years in making, so I hope it's not the last one. Anyway, I hope you. But yeah, I understand he's probably got other things he'd like to do. I believe he's retired now, but he's still probably got other games that he'd like to design, and not just this stuff all the time. It's I'm sure it started as a kind of hobby probably is still just a hobby for him, designing games. So he wants, I'm sure designing a game needs to be something for him, but I'm just being selfish here. Sorry. Right, okay, stop rabbiting on, Grant. Here we go. Right, so German Impulse, and we'll finish this turn, hopefully. Well, we've all finished this turn. Right, let's go. Let's draw a card. Oh, second SS. Right, could be interesting. I just like to check how many cards we had in the... 5 cards left in the command deck. So it's a bit similar, the first turn, wasn't it? I think I had 4 cards left, so just to let you know, that's probably not a good thing. I think I'll maybe find after this game, I'll think, right, probably need to go a bit quicker and move, don't let the Germans have as many impulses. It's hit or miss, I suppose. You could get lucky. How many times in that, I felt like in that first playthrough, which, okay, came up with an error that, I don't know, maybe, after fixing that last error, I thought maybe I could have went back and fixed that, but I was just annoyed with myself, because there was 2 or 3 errors that were just really like simple ones that I'm sure everybody's seen. Anyway, my point there was I got really lucky. I was drawing combat tactics like this for when the Germans were defending. Okay, that one gets shuffled back in, fair enough. But I was drawing like the big Manstein cards and what was it, the Army Group South cards and whatever, and they were like combat tactics that didn't start till turn 4 and turn 6 and things like that. And so there is an element of luck. Drawing cards, drawing chits out of cup, of course there is, but that's fun. It's really good fun. So deploy all 2nd SS Panzer Corps reserves. We're on 2+ if at least 2 units. Well, there's nothing in the reserve units box, so that's that. Activate all units and 2nd SS Corps. Right, okay, well we do have 1, 2, 3 units. Okay, I've just moved that card up there and just smashed a garrison marker from somewhere. Was it anywhere near there? I mean, I know they got placed in cities to start with. Right, okay. I'm going to have to find out where it was. Hang on. So it looks like it's actually 2 garrison markers. I just went and moved the card right across, and of course they aren't quite as clear to see, so I've got one that's maybe up there. It's maybe the starting ones. I know some of them went in certain hexes, didn't they? Right, I'll go and fix that now. Right, I figured rather than going looking at videos, I'd just check the setup at the start. Place 10 German garrison markers on the map. 1 in each of the 7 cities. Well, I don't think they 2 were, but... And then 1 each in position 103, which is hex 2317. 23... I see, yeah. Well, it's right there. Because we've not been up there, nothing's changed. And... 1 each position 103. 110, which is 2320. That's further up. That's the one that's up there, and I'm kind of hoping this is the last one is 1302016. It is indeed. Look, there we go. Yeah, the feeling, because there was nothing that sort of rang a bell round about there. Anyway, right, okay, right. So we're activating 2nd SS. Now we have the one guy up in, we've got the main man in Kharkov here. It's not moved and won't move, I don't think. Well, yeah, that's the main restriction, is don't move out of Kharkov and, well, don't leave it empty. This guy's up in Gotnya, which he did got me. And this has got an IP on it beside there, so... yeah, not quite sure what's going to happen here, so we'll have a look though. Okay, so action steps. Now this is the last time we're going to go through these action steps, because this is for turn 1 and 2. So things are going to change up a bit next turn. 3 and 4, they've got a separate set of action steps. It means a lot of them will be the same, but it does change it up a bit, and I think... And then we've got between turn 5 and 7, and then turn 8 onwards is a different set. I mean, it's the Germans probably getting more aggressive as they bring in more reserves. Yeah, and it's, I would imagine, going to be great. Okay, so nothing behind Soviet lines. Move to step 2. Move to empty our garrison VPX to its Soviet unit proximate. Well, this guy's not going to move out of Kharkov. That is, don't cause Kharkov to become empty. So he's not going to move out of there. So we can forget about that. This guy's in a town away up. So move to empty or garrison VP hex. Yeah, we're looking for VP hexes here. So this one possibly. Because yeah, does definitely look like we are proximate to this. Yeah, we looked at that one. Remember, we left the unit behind to take this one, and then I talked about the fact this was sort of achievable as well. So you're looking in ascending order, and well, actually, this is the first. We've got 5, 6, and 9 away up there. So he's just off camera, but we'll get back to him. So this guy might well just move into here because we are proximate. We break zone and control 1, 2, 3. It's simple enough to get into that VP hex. Now, is there any others, Grant? Because yeah, the last time I maybe didn't talk about possible other options. And remember, this is I've not quite heard back Martin's opinion on this one about if you had the choice between 2. There's nothing to really break it down apart from the tiebreakers, which is lowest numbered hex. But yeah, anyway, I mean, I can't see it like affecting things very often, and I think probably in my example between Kharkov and what is it, Volchansk is probably it might well be the only one that could maybe come up. But you know what? Well, it might come up. Okay, so is there any other VP? No, I don't think there is. Well, there's this one up here, admittedly, but I don't think 1, 2. Yeah, there's no way we can get up there. Breaking zone and control because they'll be going at the forest, the woods here, and even over the other side, and even this guy is not. Now hang on a sec. Remember when we're checking proximity, we would ignore garrisons that were if a garrison's adjacent, we ignore it. So I don't think that matters. I very much doubt I can get up here. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be able to reach away up there. So, but this one is achievable. So move to enter garrison VPX to which Soviet unit proximate, and then if city is not, if starting in VP hex, it is not. So he's going to move to there, and he can do by 1, 2 breaking zone of control, 3, 4, 5 into here. So if he does that, no, I'll just take this off. Right, so if he was to do that, I think he's surroundable, isn't he? So that's a big restriction, really, isn't it? You do need to watch other ones. Don't cause Soviet proximity to enter garrison German city hex. To enter garrison German city hex or map VP hex. You would see that, I think. Don't cause unit the same core to be put in dangerous round. Well, that's unless that unit is active and not yet acted. So they both are active and not yet acted. And don't end make unit in a marsh. Yeah, it's always going to be, if not in dangerous round, don't end move in non-city hex in dangerous round unless allowed by action. So was he in dangerous round to start with? That's probably what we need to know. It actually was. This guy can break away zone of control. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's a point. Oh, there's an interesting one. However, I'm going to work my way through this one and say that it's still going to apply, and I'll tell you why. And the reason I'm saying that is, remember, it was one of the rules that I felt were a change from our den. I'm pretty sure it was, although I've spoken about it before. I think there was certain occasions when you had to stop when you moved into an empty town. I don't know if it was like, could it have been advanced after combat and maybe you had to stop when you moved into to take over an enemy town or city. But it doesn't say that in this game. It says that whenever you enter an empty town, to take control of it, you must stop. So me trying to check proximity here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to surround this guy, I wouldn't be able to, I would have to stop on reaching this town. However, I'm going to have to say that if I activate this core or even the stack, then one of these units would have to stop and then gain control of the town. Remember, the units, they move individually. Although you might say, oh, I'm taking this whole stack round, they do move individually. So one unit would have to stop there, and then this guy could then do that. So that's my thinking of it, and how, and that still enables that guy to get around there and surround that guy. So hopefully my thinking of that is right. It feels like it's right there, but that could be one of the ones that I shouldn't be sort of like looking at that way. But I think it is. So this guy is in dangerous round, so we don't need to care about the restriction. So yeah, that tells me that he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then what did we say? 4, 5. Right, I'm sure I only counted 5 before. Where about he was in there, yeah? Oh, of course, yeah. I only need to go 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. So he's going into that town with action step 2. Yep. So he does lose his IP. And yeah, more protection for the victory points, which, remember, we're on 9. We've got to achieve 10. This is just the end of turn 2 though, so we've still got 2 turns. So I'm feeling pretty confident with that. Well, I'm actually feeling pretty good about getting Kharkov, I think. Unless anything crazy happens. Because, you know, when we activate 3rd tank next turn, I'm hoping to be able to just activate the whole army, I think. This garrison goes away, this garrison goes away, this guy gets to move in, this guy gets to move in, and then we've got a much better force to have a better go at Kharkov, and probably even chuck another combat tactic in there just to mix it up a bit, I think, just to make sure that we actually get them retreating anyway. Okay, so that's unit 5. Unit selector number 6 is in Kharkov. He's not going to move by action step 2, and there's nobody else that I'm proximate to a VP hex or garrison empty or garrison VP hex, right? So we'll move on. Step 3. If in 4th Panzer Army and in Soviet artillery zone. No, we're in 4th Panzer Army, we're not in the Soviet artillery zone. So 4. If in dangerous round, move to position hex, not in dangerous round. Well, I mean, the guy in Kharkov is in dangerous round, but he's not allowed to move out of Kharkov. Well, he's not allowed to leave Kharkov empty. And that is the first restriction. Only on turns 1 to 3, mind you. It changes up a bit come turn 4. I think by then they've maybe given up on Kharkov, maybe. Yeah, don't cause Kharkov or that other city that I'll not try and pronounce to become empty. So if I'm in dangerous round, so if I move to a position hex not in dangerous round, I'm going to leave Kharkov empty. So he's not going to do that. The other guys, no. No, I wouldn't have thought so. Said that one before. 6. He's only by himself. I think this is all infantry, isn't it? It's too far away though, Grant. I need to look though, because of the early on blunders. I need to look, because we can get this guy to here, but no, because he's breaking zone of control. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're not getting it. Oh, this guy's got 7 movement, but again, he's too far away. Well, you know what? He's not that far. It was only 2 more hexes, but I mean, it's still 2 more hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can't get around to there. Yeah, I can't quite do that, but it's actually not that far away. Okay, so that was step 4, yeah. So step 5 is draw action cards. Right, well now we're at a position where we have no more action deck. So I'm guessing it just shuffles up, so, but I better just check. Yeah, okay, there we go. Page 22, 10.4, the very last paragraph. Action card discards. After you draw and finish using an action card, place it in the German action discards box printed on the map. If the German action deck is exhausted during the game turn, immediately shuffle all the discards and start the deck over. Right, okay, so that should have actually happened. No harm done though. So as soon as we... Yeah, that was right, huh? As soon as we run out... If the German action deck is exhausted during the game turn, immediately shuffle all the discards and start the deck over. Yeah, well, it didn't really do any harm, but I should have done it once I'd played the last card. I should have shuffled it up, but yeah, I think there was a big deal on that, was it? Right, so that's it shuffled up, and we will draw an action card then, see what we get. This is step 5 then. Pull back. Okay. Right, what does that do? And bearing in mind, this guy's not going to pull back, so situation, active unit in danger of surround, well, he is. Proximate to a hex not in danger of surround, possibly, but he can't. Again, there's nothing to say he can break the restriction of leaving Kharkov empty. The other guy is not in dangerous round. We've looked at that, so that card's not going to apply. We're going to move on to step 6 and try again. Okay, strong attack. Situational strength of active unit stat and other active units greater than or equal to 4 times proximate Soviet unit stack. That's not going to happen. I mean, this guy's not active anymore, so he can't be considered. Okay, this guy could come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can't even reach, actually. So he is active. He could come down, try and join up with this guy to attack one of these stacks. But we would need 4 times the amount that's in there. So, yeah. Let's just move on. Strong attack, it will happen. It's more than likely attack might come about before strong attack, but I don't know why. That's a little bit strange that one, that was a card that got added, the strong attack. You would have thought maybe just a normal, just gentle attack where you get But then maybe it's meant to be that way, that they don't really want to attack unless they've got a big force, you know. Okay, fair enough. Sure, that's maybe the thinking of it. Right, back to step 7 now. So move to a hex and remove dangerous sound from another German unit. Okay, well, we could possibly have a look at this, because we know this guy can't move. But could he, and we know he's in dangerous round, could this guy want to... Ooh, wait now. I went on the road there, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can actually reach that hex. So we could have had 8 strength for a strong attack against 10. 8 against 10 is not 4 times the amount. We need a bit more. Okay, so can this guy maybe? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, like I say, I followed him on the road, but they're all clear hexes here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, I cheated there, didn't I? I moved into the woods. Sorry. Well, hang on. If he moves there, 5, is that not good enough? Possibly. No, because this guy he can go round the back, can't he? He just needs to move. Well, it's breaking zone of control as well, and crossing this minor river. Are these all mechanised? We've got an infantry in the bottom, actually. That might be well, I don't know. It's 2 into the woods for the infantry anyway. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 for an infantry, and it'd be 1 break-in zone of control, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So either one of them can go out and in here and surround that guy, and this guy moving down here, it's irrelevant. So, yeah. So that's actually not going to happen. There's nobody else. Yeah, everyone's just a bit too far away for all that carry on, isn't it? So it causes surrounded. Move. I'm looking at the wrong bit. Move to hex that removes dangerous surround from another German unit. And we know this guy's not going to move out because again he's in Kharkov. If Soviet unit proximate to enter garrisoned German city hex, no. 9. If in non-VP hex and stacked with or adjacent to other German unit. No, both of these are in a VP hex and they're not stacked and all that anyway. So yeah, step 10, place IP. Well, one's in a city, one's in a town. Not going to happen. Remove disperse marker from unit. Well, it looks like that's what we're going to do. So it was just moving this guy to protect an RVP hex. Yeah, it's fair enough. They don't mean that having only the 3 units. Did they get? Yeah, they got a couple of reserves on turn 4. Yeah, not as many units, is there? So you've got to start thinking that way. Although it feels like the Russians, obviously, 3rd tank and Popov start off with a lot, but like what John Brown has just said, these decisions you've got to make. Where if you read his comment a bit more, it's about like, you know, do I push and do I take an extra hit when I know that the Germans are going to fight back. So I don't mean. I think 3rd tank is taking a bit of a beating. Popov's a bit better off, but come turn 3, and you know, like I was cringing about drawing the 3rd tank or mobile Popov card, the army card, and the option to like replace 1 point on it. That's gonna be a tough thing to decide, but you're going to come the time and you're going to have to do a bit of that, I think. Okay, well, I think that's all they're doing. The other 2 units, they couldn't build IPs because they're fine. Yeah, that's it. So that's the last impulse of the turn. So So again, we've got 5 cards left over this time. I think we had 4 cards left over in the last, the first turn. So let's look at the end of turn stuff. I'm just going to look at the back of the book this time, I think. So end of turn, check for victory or defeat. That does start in turn 4, so not a couple of turns yet before we need to look at that. Like I say, the first number we need to concern ourselves is 12. Make sure we've got 12. Yeah, a couple of things there. I noticed there was certain, I think it was maybe the sun coming out the window at the time, but I've got this other light here, and I noticed, I think when I was putting my hand down, it was kind of flickering a bit. It looked a bit annoying to me. And then I also noticed, that's why I had the chance to start recording a bit earlier this evening, but the sun was blaring in that window, and it was, you know, it looked kind of horrible. And then when I looked that play, I think it was take 2, part 14, when I done the fix, and as the sun came down, it was really not very clear to see. So I'll try and avoid that. I'm going to have to get a blind put up there of some sorts. If not, I'll need to put something temporary if I'm going to try and record that again, because I don't want that again. That was kind of horrible. Right, I better move on, because that's us over an hour, and I didn't copy that first bit across. So check for victory, don't need to do that. Return all combat chits to the cup. Okay, done. Remove all dispersed, and from turn 5 onwards, forward support markers. Well, we're not there yet. Dispersed. We do have just some of ours, I think. These guys, I think again it was to save a hit, wasn't it? We took 2 hits and decided, well, we weren't probably going to do much more anyway, so reduce a hit by dispersing them all. I do see a German there though, that's dispersed as well. This guy, yeah, he escaped out of the town that we managed to take back. I think that's it. So that's it for dispersal. Remove German garrisons unable to trace reserve supply. Okay, let's try and quickly find. That's not a problem. That is not a problem. This one might need to be looked at. That's not a problem. That one. Remember, it's reserve supply, so it does need to get on another road. Ooh. Actually, right, hang on. Okay, so yeah, so we can't get through this road, but there's a wee bit branch here. So this guy, for instance, can trace 1, 2, 3. Well, that's fine, and he's fine. I'm pretty sure this guy's all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he's fine. Well, actually, this is the last one, so I'm not so sure we can go up that way. But can he go through this gap? I think 1, 2. I think he's probably all right. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, actually, I think he's all right on that road anyway, isn't he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he traces up and doesn't need to go that way. He can just go that way up to here, and then yeah, so he's fine. Not as if we're terribly bothered at this one anyway, but then again, maybe I'm not fully understanding garrisons, and something will happen here, and they'll say, "Oh, don't! What happened there? How did that get there?" So that's that. Turn 6 to 10. Don't need that. Advance the game turn marker. Okay, we're moving on to game turn 3. I've not used my activate 1 unit once yet, but I remember using it in Ardennes at times. Don't know, it might have been more on the other solo game, possibly, but it does come in handy at times for sure. So. Right, that's it. Right, I better cut this now because we're running out of space, and hopefully it all went well. Who knows? I'll just get this uploaded. I'm not sure if I'll get right up there in the night. I should be able to, yeah. I'm actually still contemplating maybe coming back. I guess it's just because at the start of the turn was going awful and messing about. If I was just doing another impulse straight away, I think I would come back. Right, okay, I'll get this uploaded and I'll be back with, what is this? This is 15. No, this is 16. So I'll be back with part 17 sometime soon. Okay, cheers guys.